In my last video, I made the argument that 66% Bitcoin dominance has over the entire crypto market wouldn't last, and it would decrease over time. And I wanted to further explain this idea. And I want to continue from the point of the Bitcoin is the new internet. And I wanted to solidify this idea. So today we have thousands of companies that own computers. They run software on these computers, and you have millions of end users, desktops and mobile phones, that connect and exchange information between them through these servers. That's the current internet. Take Filecoin, for example. It's a simple project to understand because it's Dropbox. All right, the same as Dropbox. You have a server, people put information on that server, and they have access to that information from wherever they are. But instead of having a server that is owned by a company, we would have thousands of computers that between them hold all information, and there is a GUI, a graphical user interface, to interact with that software. That is the crypto revolution. That is the Bitcoin, the blockchain revolutions. These are software engineers that are no longer designing software that is intended to be run on a single computer, but rather software that is intended to run on thousands of computers that don't know each other, that cannot interact beyond what the protocol allows. That is the revolution. Now, take Filecoin and let's put it in the year 2000. We could have downloaded that software, and make it in the year 2000. People download it. And these people would be divided into two groups. One group that has information it wishes to store. And the other group is people who have a storage place on their computer and a computing power. Excellent. But how would they exchange value? You see, we had such a software. It's called BitTorrent. But it was the barter system. I held files, you had files, and we shared these files. But in this case, we have one group that wishes to store and another group that doesn't wish to store anything. How can they exchange value? Well, you would need a digital asset, a scarce asset, which would allow you to do that. Do you know Milton Friedman?
So that I think that the internet is going to be one of the major forces for reducing the role of government. The one thing that's missing, but that will soon be developed, is a reliable Ecash, a method whereby on the internet you can transfer funds from A to B without A knowing B or B knowing A.
Bitcoin allows the development of such software. This was the key that was missing. It created a community which did not exist. The point I was making in the video part 1 with the riddle is that in 2009, all this community didn't exist. The people who created the software had to figure out, how do we make people download a software and interact with a network, an idea that, again, doesn't exist. The way they solved it is proof of work. People are rewarded with tokens when they participate in the network. Mining solved two things: censorship and incentive for people to download and participate. 2 weeks ago, the Ethereum Foundation announced that they wish to commence with the proof of stake stage of the blockchain. And they are allowing people to download a software on their computer and deposit to an Ethereum address, 32 Ethereum. And if they raise about 500,000 Ethereum, or when they raise 500,000 Ethereum, the network would start running. This was impossible in 2009. Today you have millions of people who hold digital assets. You have businesses that buy machine in order to validate transactions. There is an entire ecosystem. The proof of work concept is far from genius. It what did the job. It what started this revolution. It's what allowed the things that are happening to happen. And I think that people that today join Bitcoin are still amazed by the scarce digital asset aspect, but they're missing out what it allows. They completely miss out the fact that this allows groups of people, specifically developer and software developers, developing softwares that were unimaginable before. That's where the value is, I think, going to come from. I think that this technology is going to allow softwares that are going to be extremely useful. And in order to interact with that software, and that's how the ecosystem works, you would need these codes, we call them tokens, coins, whatnot, and they would have a monetary value. And I am convinced that in time it would be very obvious that the Bitcoin is a 2009 technology. It would be AOL. It would be AOL, an amazing application that started a revolution. But it within itself was very limited.